Court will call the case of the state of Michigan versus Lawrence Buckner, case number 25S00102.
Tiffany Woods for the people.
And Buckner, Dr. Leave on behalf of Mr. Buckner. Mr. Buckner, can you state your name, sir? Mr. Buckner, could you state your name, sir?
Lawrence Buckner.
And could you turn on your video, please?
All right, we're here for sentencing today.
Yes, Your Honor, I have reviewed the report and recommendation with Mr. Buckner. Your Honor, I don't believe we don't have any factual modifications to the report. I would like to provide them allocution. Shouldn't ask the court not to accept the recommendation.
Thank you. Ms. Woods?
One moment, Judge. I'm pulling up my notes right now. My computer is just a little slow.
Mr. Buckner, are you driving, sir?
No, ma'am. I'm not driving.
Judge, I've also had an opportunity to review the PSIR recommendation, and I'd ask the court to follow the recommendation within that report. Thank you.
Mr. Buckner, why do I hear your blinker on, sir?
That's my hazard lights.
Your what?
That's my hazard lights. Those are my hazard lights.
Mr. Lebo, what would you like to say on behalf of your client, please?
First, I want to note that when I discussed this with Mr. Buckner yesterday, he told me that he understands that when he got upset, when he felt provoked by the officer, he should have kept his mouth shut and he shouldn't have made any kind of threatening statement, even if he felt disrespected. He did ask me to let the court know that he was at a gas station getting his tire fixed during the interview. He tells me that he was not driving. He also wants me to let the court know that he'll comply with any probationary sentence issued by the court. He did state to the probation he doesn't feel he would benefit from probation, but he did tell me when we spoke that he will comply fully with any probation conditions imposed by the court. So we would ask the court to consider imposing a fines and cost sentence or a period of probation rather than filing the recommendation for 30 days in jail.
Did he do a class? I was a little confused because it said in there he did the class. Did you do a class, Mr. Buckner?
No, I've been just going to my regular therapist. But what Mr. Lebo is saying, and what he's talking about is the PSI and what I stated assertively. And I think you'll be proud of me, Miss Roshan, because I didn't raise my voice, I didn't cuss, and none of that crazy stuff I normally do. And it was two incidents that the probation reviewer person said to me, and I really don't want my words misconstrued. I don't want them taken out of context. He said, when he got first thing he said, talk about the apology. And I told the probation officer, I said, if you was offended by a person, would it be more genuine for the person who offended you to apologize or for you to get a third party? Case in point, your sister stole some money from you and you feel she owes you an apology. You want to forgive her. You want to move forward in life, but she doesn't come forth. Your mother or another relative comes. Anybody that's a natural human will see that that is non-genuine at all. The officer never felt anything wrong about the way he treated me until you pointed it out. So if you would have never pointed it out, there would have never been an attempt of an apology or anything. I'm a regular human being. I try to live on regular life principles. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Like I told the probation officer, I never, not one time, did not take accountability for any of my actions. I was trying to be very clear, direct, and assertive as possible in giving my reason as to why we here today. You know, even during the court proceedings, you reprimanded the officer, you know. But the bad part about it is the officer don't get no charge. I get a charge. And like I told him, life is not fair, but I will accept anything. Even though in my heart I may not agree with it, I'm still going to accept and comply. That's what I told the probation officer. And by me saying that, that is not being defiant to the courts. It's not being defiant to anybody of authority. You know, I just simply said, hey, I'm going to do whatever I got to do to stay free, even though I don't agree with it. That's exactly what that means. So for my words to be taken out of context, yes, I'm very, I feel very disrespected. I feel like it's a plot against me just to throw me in jail. 30 days in jail ain't going to do nothing. It's what will it benefit to remove me from my family for a phone call? What warrants that? You know, I really would like for you, because the whole meeting was videotaped. I really would like for you to watch it, because if you watch it, you will see that I was assertive as well as respectful. I didn't disrespect nobody. I was very clear about everything that transpired during the situation. Do I feel uh, messed up? Yes, because the officer that I made the statement towards is the same officer that's been arresting me since I was a teenager. So, it is my belief, and notice I said it is my belief, that the moment the phone call came in, that officer didn't care about the threatening of the officer. He's like, I finally got Lawrence Buckner, and I'm gonna go push this all the way up. And like I said, that's my belief. You know, I just sat in jail for 30 some days for something that I didn't do, and like, it's the difference between actually committed a crime, getting caught red-handed, versus somebody, you know, constantly going to jail. And you know, this was all one big thing, because you have been my judge, named there for every case. I have lost my dogs. I've lost my business. I have lost my entire livelihood because of a woman telling a white lie, to where now I got to get transcripts from the courts so I can file a lawsuit, because I got put in jail for being black, being at the wrong place at the wrong time. And these officers are the same officers who have been arresting me since I was 15 years old, and then want to get in front of you and act like they don't know who I am, when the officer admitted in the court, yeah, I dealt with Mr. Buckner in the past. You, because you dealt with me in the past, that's why as soon as I called, you was instantly, oh, he a liar. I don't care nothing you got to say. And then when I respond out of feelings, out of hurt, out of embarrassment, now I get a charge. Now I want to be put in jail for 30 days. So what does it really warrant? Like, I just lost my whole livelihood. They took all my dogs because of this. Everything.
Mr. Buckner, you're yelling again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm my bad. I'm no, my bad. I apologize. Like, nobody's taking into account of that. Nobody's saying, hey, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Okay. I didn't just get on the phone threatening nobody. I tried to be respectful. I tried to follow the chain of authority to report abuse of authority to his colleague. And what do I get? I get mistreated. I get disrespected. I didn't deserve that. And all he gets to do is get a reprimand and go about his life. He don't care about no apology. He don't. He didn't care until you pointed it out. And that's just like if you raising children and you say, go apologize to such and such. If you have to tell that child to do that over and over and over again, that child will never learn to give a genuine apology or be accountable on his own. I was greatly disrespected, me and my family. For what? And jail, and then the prosecutor want to just send me to jail. She don't even know my life. She don't know what I've been through. Everything is just jail, jail, jail. Jail is not always the answer. Jail is not the answer. How is jail the answer? Can nobody in this courtroom explain why jail is the answer? If I was so much of a threat and anti-government, I'd be blowing up buildings. You see me blowing up buildings? You see me going starting stuff? I'm not doing nothing. The same stuff I've been doing when I came home from prison in 2020. You know, and every time I tell the courts, on record, on YouTube, every time I tell the courts that I have been maliciously persecuted by Washtenaw County sheriffs for not cooperating when I got shot, nobody believes me. Nobody cares. But all these magical cases come up on me. Places that shootouts happen and I wasn't even there. My GPS proves it, but I'm still in jail. Like, my mental is broke down. I have no more faith in the justice system. I am done. I like my life is in the last 6 months has went to crap. Okay, over a white lie. And in 2025, you would think that you could drive anywhere around the United States. But no, that ain't the case. That I was instantly stigmatized as a drug dealer, pulling up and then passing out guns. Man, my life is ruined. I worked so hard to build my dog community up. I took my dogs to the old folks home. So many people was affected by this. I took my dogs to schools. I took my dogs to help children. And now I'm so much of a threat to society to where I have to be remanded to Washtenaw County or suggested I be remanded for Washtenaw County with nobody not even doing no type of investigation on my life. Like, I'm actually an asset to my community. I'm not a liability to my community. You put people in jail that's liability, that's not assets, that don't benefit, that don't bring nothing, that don't have no self-worth or not knowledge of their self-worth. People who have self-worth, people who making a constant effort, especially from the degrees of changes that I've made from my past, I'm doing remarkable, you know, and still and yet, like I still, for the life of me, cannot understand as to why I'm sitting in front of you. I swear I don't. You know, I try to sit about it every day. These are the same officers that pull me over every single day, every other week, harass me, and then get into court and act like nobody harassed me. Why would I call the police? I called the police on the police. So that means something had to happen to me. Something is constantly happening to me, constantly pulling me over, constantly sitting in front of my house, just harassing me, constantly coming to my house every day. Come on, come to court. Tell us she shot. We need you to testify. No, no, no. And then as soon as I keep telling them no, I get all these magical cases. Like, why won't they just leave me alone? Nobody will listen to me. Nobody. I've been in jail for over almost 2 months for nothing. I can see if I actually did them crimes. So my whole religion, my spirituality is crushed. I don't know what to believe no more. I was a very religious person, a very spiritual person, but life done beat me down. It done beat me down. And everything I think about is what happened to my ancestors. It's relevant to me because I went to jail for being black. So yes, my mindset is different. My mindset is very different. I don't know. I don't trust Europeans because a European just tried to take away my life. A European came to court and lied on me when all these cameras proved I didn't do nothing. And I sat in jail. I was tortured. I was not allowed to practice my religion. None of this. I just missed my aunt's funeral. My aunt just died. She was the only person to ever write me in prison after my mama died. And I couldn't go to my aunt's funeral because of a tether, a GPS tether that Judge Simpson ordered to be taken off. When Judge Simpson ordered to be taken off the tether, they still left me on the tether. I couldn't even go to my aunt's funeral. I couldn't even do that, but nobody's talking about that. I had a court order to take it off, and I couldn't even go pay my respects. This woman, she didn't have much. She sent me money. She made sure I had a letter every week. Every week. You know, tell me I love you, even though it was just the words. But nobody's looking at that. Just send Mr. Buckner to jail. Send him to jail. Jail ain't the answer.
Thank you, Mr. Buckner. So back to what I asked initially, did Mr. Buckner ever take a course? Because it says in the report on page 2, the defendant was instructed to complete an anger management course before sentencing. The defendant completed this course, but it appeared to have no impact. I don't remember asking him about taking a class. Is all of that incorrect in the report?
Your Honor.
It's incorrect, man. It's incorrect.
All right,
I
Mr.
don't-
Buckner, Mr. Buckner, thank you.
Please, I need to say this. The officers have been harassing me, and I really want to just make this on a note that this is also evidence of what they're doing to me And I don't know if something gonna happen to me soon, but I want this on record. You know, I don't trust the police. I think they're trying to kill me. I think that one of the police officers involved in my shooting, nobody will listen to me. And I need some help. I need some help. I fear for my life. Every day I fear for my life. Nobody will help me. Nobody will help me. And I want this on video in case something happened to me.
Thank you, Mr. Buckner.
Your Honor, I don't, bel-
Mr. Pappenhagen.
That's my apologies. I mistaken. That was a mental error on my end.
I'm striking all of that from the report. Anything from anyone else before I proceed with sentencing?
Nothing from the people, Judge.
no, Your Honor.
The defendant is to complete the ABR anger management course and pay fines and court costs in this case for a total of $275. I'm gonna see him back here in 90 days on September 23rd, 2025 at 10 o'clock a.m. 180 days in the Washtenaw County Jail, credit for 11 days. The balance is suspended. So he doesn't have to do any additional jail time. If he pays his fines and costs, completes the class, and tells me what he learns from the class.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I want to say I heard every word that Mr. Buckner said. I truly believe that he is concerned for his safety. And bottom line, though, is two wrongs don't make a right, and that's why we're here. So I'll see him back here in September.
That's disgusting. That's disgusting. Throw the staff at the jail under the bus based on this guy's insane ramblings. You've got to be kidding me.
And that was the 23rd, Your Honor.
Correct, at 10.
Thank you.
What will call the matter of the state of
By the way, I need to thank Zach over at Law Nerds Unite, Alyssa, who was all over this morning, also Shelly Needs Coffee, and others. Everyone was telling me about this, but I was stuck actually practicing law. That's okay. That's okay. We got it all. Let's go. Now we got Crazy Grandma.
Michigan versus Jeremy Shue, 24S00359.
Tiffany Woods for the people.
Sherilyn Foster Tucker on behalf of Jeremy Shue.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we're here today for Ms. Foster Tucker. Well, we're here for a pretrial as well as for Ms. Foster Tucker's motion to withdraw.
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct. I do believe, as I indicated in my written motion, that there has been a breakdown such that it would no longer be appropriate for me to continue representing Mr. Shue.
Thank you. Anything from the
Oh, and I put this together. No, we got Crazy Mr. Shue. So we got Buckner and Shue, the usual suspects rolling in. They will learn nothing. They cannot learn anything. We're gonna have to wait for the Crazy Grandma. This isn't very long.
people on this?
No, Judge.
All right. Mr. Shue, anything from you on the motion to withdraw?
My understanding was it was merely because of the fact that it was in the circuit court as an appeal, and whatever contract that the appointed counsel is dealing with don't allow her to represent me in that matter. So I guess that it's going to have to be a separate circuit court for our appointment. I don't know.
Well, Did you provide him with a copy of your basis for the withdrawal?
Yes, I have the motion. I haven't read it. I'm sorry. That was my mistake.
That is not the basis for her withdrawal. She,
That's what I was informed verbally by Miss Foster Tucker for the reason of the withdrawal. So I didn't really see a point of reading it. I probably should have.
Mhm. You guys have a fundamental disagreement on the actions that you're taking, Mr. Shu. So based on that, I'm going to grant her request to withdraw. And, so you are paid counsel, Ms. Foster Tucker?
Appointed, Your Honor.
All right. So this matter will need to go back to the appointing authority, so the appointing authority can appoint someone else. I think I need one of those. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna put this over to July 8th, 2025 at 9:00 a.m. Hopefully we'll have a new attorney by then, Mr. Shu.
Okay. Can we address the drug testing still, please?
I'm not sure you want to do that, Mr. Shu.
Okay. All right. I'll take the advice. July 8th.
Correct. At 9 a.m.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. See you then, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Roll call the matter of Ypsilanti Township versus Joyce Fitch, case number 24T00068.
Paul Barnett on behalf of the township.
Allison Muller here on behalf of Joyce Fitch. Ms.
I have not seen this, but I'm kind of excited. I hear she's pretty out of hand.
Fitch, could you please unmute and state your name? Or could you have them unmute you, please? Thank you.
Joyce Fitch.
Thank you. So, on February 19th, 2025, I released, Ms. Fitch to home confinement tether with the sober link. Further, get a dual diagnosis assessment, inpatient treatment, sign a release of information, contact the probation, get a sponsor, and she can only leave for appointments and treatment. I received on March. In March, I received a notice that she had missed tests. On March 9th, she blew a .120. She missed tests again. On March 9th, she blew a 1.121. She missed tests again. All of March 10th, she missed tests. On March 17th, she blew a .052. There are so many violations. It's actually remarkable. So then a bench warrant was issued on March 13th, but she continued to test and she was continuing to blow. On March 18th, she blew a .094, .091, .090 down to a .073, and then she never really got to a baseline of 0 again. And then her sober link was terminated on March 21st because she was in warrant status. She apparently got picked up, was arraigned before the magistrate on June 12th, at which time she then started talking about how she was supposed to get a bed for home and new vision, which she had been supposedly doing that for 3 months already. So we're here today on a violation of probation. Does your client want to have a hearing or admit to the violations? Ma'am, you're entitled to have a hearing on these violations if you so choose, or you could admit to the violations. Either way, I want to be very clear. I don't plan to let Ms. Fitch out. Ms. Fitch needs to go to in inpatient treatment from the gym. You're muted.
Sorry about that. I understand, Your Honor. No, Ms. Fitch does not want to contest any of the violations. There might be, Ms. Fitch might want to provide, I guess, a partial explanation for some of it, but she will admit there might be a memory issue when we talked about
I think that explanation, and I haven't seen this yet, but I think that explanation will be, sorry, Judge, I had a little of the captain in me.
the specifically the first alcohol positive. She said she thinks it's likely she drank. She doesn't have clear memory of that time in March of doing so, but she doesn't contest the result.
Ms. Fitch, please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may lower your hand now. Is it true that, well, let's start with February 28th. You missed tests on February 28th and March 3rd between 9 p.m. and 12 a.m.?
Yes.
Is it true that on March 9th you blew a .120 at 10:52 p.m. and then basically you didn't test again until 11:56 p.m. You're supposed to test every 15 minutes?
I do.
And then when you did test at 11:56, you blew a .121, so your numbers went up? Is that true, ma'am?
Yeah, I do.
And then I guess you continued testing because the time flipped over to March 10th. No, you failed to continue to test. And then on March 17th, you blew a .052. Is that
I did.
true? And then and I'm gonna skip some of these, but on March 18th, you were blowing numbers as well, .094 down to a .073. Is that correct?
Yes.
I find that there's a knowing and willing admission to the violations. Are you satisfied? This is Mr. Barnett's case.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Defense is satisfied as well, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Ms. Fitch, you obviously have an issue, but you've had this for a long, long time.
Yes.
Do you want to work on it, Ms. Fitch?
Yes, I do. I have so much illness and sickness. I go through a lot. I'm not trying to cry, but during this time, I've been back in the hospital. Had to have surgery, had to have my testing taken off from when I had the cancer. And that was in March. And I've been back and forth to the hospital. I did my community service. And no, I didn't just call this home a new bid. I just didn't call them when I just got arrested. I had been called them. And then I had to go in the hospital. When I had to go in the hospital, then I had lost my telephone. I had to get my phone back. And they were trying to call me. But before I even came here this time, I had already talked to them. They had told me they was going to call me this week between Tuesday and Wednesday. So I got in touch with them yesterday. They said, oh, we've been trying to call. But like I said, I had been in the hospital and I lost my phone. And I got my phone back. I was able to get the same phone number. But I've been called the rehab place. And they had got me a place, a room. But I ended up in the hospital. So Tuesday, yesterday, they called me and said, man, we got the bed for you. It's Tuesday on the 24th of this month. So, I did my community service. I'm back in and out of the hospital. I'm really going through a lot. I'm going through a lot in here. This Sunday just passed. I was in here. My sugar, 800. Every day I'm in here, my sugar between 600 and 800 because they don't have the insulin for me here. I have to have special insulin because of the cancer that I had. So this insulin here would never work for me. And they told me Steve was going to bring the insulin up here from my house because I have special insulin. They said, oh, you can't bring no insulin from home here. You just have to take what we give you. At home, I take 1 shot a day. Here, I take about 10 shots a day. Every 5 minutes, they want to give me a shot, and it's never going to work. They give me a shot, sugar 500. They give me a shot, sugar 600. Sunday, 800. Now, they say, ma'am, we don't know what to do with your sugar because we cannot get your medicine. I said, well, can I bring the medicine from my house? Because I have special insulin. Oh, no, they bring the medicine here. We're going to put it in your property. We're just trying to keep you alive. I just want the right medicine. All these shots is going to make me have a kidney failure. I'm going to be worse than what I am. I want to go to rehab. I've been calling the people. I got the bed, and I'm ready to go. But I don't want to die before I get there. I can't, there's 800 sugar every day. I'm so nervous in this place. Every time I see the nurse, I'll be about to faint.
Your Honor, Ms. Fitch, she told me today that a bed is available at Home and New Vision on June 24th. She did give me a contact number. I haven't been able to reach them yet to confirm this. But what Ms. Fitch and I wanted to ask if we're able to confirm that that bed is really available on June 24th is that she be given one last chance to be released on home confinement GPS and report directly to Home of New Vision on June 24th.
Anything from you on this, Mr. Barnett?
I don't think that's appropriate, given the circumstances, Your Honor. I think she needs to go direct from the jail.
And Your Honor, I normally, I understand where Mr. Barnett's coming from. I am concerned. I do think her diabetes issue is serious. She's been calling me since she was in the jail on it. I reached out to medical at the jail. I haven't heard back. But I know she's been concerned. Her mother's been calling me as well, very concerned about her diabetes and how she's reacting in the jail.
You think drinking alcohol while you have diabetes at that level is appropriate? Neither one of them.
No, I have had a drink, but I'm not drinking like I'm just drinking. But my sugar, these people can't control my sugar. Before I came here this morning, my sugar's almost 600. Right now, 600.
I'm sorry, but I'm not drinking. Drinking is good stuff.
I just took a shot. The shot's not working. I'm gonna be in a coma. I want to go to rehab. I'm going to go. I just want to go. But I can take my medicine.
This since February, Ms. Fitch. I'm not doing that. What I'm
Okay,
gonna-
what I'm gonna do here with the diabetes? They can't get it down low. What am I gonna do? They're going to coma, go in the hospital. I'm not making.
I've muted her. I heard her. I'm very clear on what she said. I'm also very clear that she says she's not drinking. 0.09 is certainly drinking. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pass this. Can you call medical again so that I can get some idea of what's going on with her insulin. If she needs special insulin, then I think they need to take her to the doctor so they can get her that. So can you
medical note
up there? I'm gonna pass this. All right, the court will recall the case of Ypsilanti Township versus Joyce Fitch, 24T00068.
Paul Barnett on behalf of the township.
Allison Mueller here on behalf of Joyce Fitch. Ms. Fitch, can you please have them unmute or go ahead and state your name?
Joyce Fitch.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Mueller, do we need a breakout room?
Yeah, Your Honor, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Back on the record in the matter of Joyce Fitch, we have had an opportunity to discuss this. And it appears that the medical information that was received does not quite comport with what Ms. Fitch is indicating. And so, which is what the court's concern was. There were some numbers that were moderately high, but nowhere near the numbers that Ms. Fitch is.
Sunday, my sugar was, the meter read high. The lady said my sugar was 700 to 800. I'm not lying about that.
Ms. Fitch, if you interrupt me again, I'm gonna hold you in contempt of court. So, the court will continue to monitor Ms. Fitch as often as the court can. Ms. Mueller, I have asked you to speak with inmate services and Home and New Vision to try to get her into the bed over there as quickly as possible. So if the bed is available on the 24th, she should be released directly into the bed at that time. She will be released on a GPS tether, if she is released. Ma'am, if you leave the treatment, then I'm just gonna put you in jail for the rest of the term of your,
Never do that.
I'm sorry,
I said I would never do that.
okay. We're scheduled for her to come back here on July 1st, 2025 at 10. Hopefully she's in treatment at that time. But bond is continued.
So they'll take me from here to the rehab.
Yes, they will, ma'am.
Okay, if I'll be in the hospital dead.
Mhm.
I'll give it 3 days I've been in the hospital. Thank you. You fit?
Yes, ma'am.
I give
Good afternoon, everyone.
Oh, yes, we're off to Minnie Manor for our second installment. Thank you to Court with Chrissy for this.
Miss Jackie, I had 2 cases on this docket with Mr. Holmes representing the petitioner. Is he trying to log into this meeting, or have those matters otherwise been resolved?
I don't have anybody else in the waiting room at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. The 2 cases I'm looking at are 25 LM 814 and 25 LM 815. If you should get any information on those, do please let me know. All right, the other case on this docket is Minnie Manor LLC versus Tanya Stewart and Eric Stewart. The case number is 25 LM 691. We had last been here on June the 2nd. At that time, given some other considerations the court had in terms of time, the matter was bifurcated, and we were going to take up continuing the cross-examination of the respondents. I had also given opportunity for either party to file additional information in the case. I don't see that any of that has caught up with my court file, at least, but I'm happy to take testimony through the cross-examination of the respondents. Any
I'll hunt down the link to the first hearing. It's it's pretty bad.
Other petitioner witnesses, and then, of course, giving the respondents a chance for their own case in chief. With all of that in mind, and the petitioner being Miss Lisa Minnie, I'll give you, and I will announce that is Lisa Minnie present on the call?
Yes, I am.
Good, good. And I do see that the Stewarts are likewise present on the call as well there, as you are in person and pro se. So if you would like to ask any further questions you have, Miss Minnie of Eric or Tanya, you may do so at this time.
Eric had stated before that he was painting for the rent. He only painted 1 hour or one day, about 8 hours. And it wasn't for the rent, it was for the deposit.
Okay. Do you have any questions of either he or Tanya at this time?
No,
All right. Do you have any other witnesses that you would like to call at this time?
I do. I have Rusty Branning.
Okay. Mr. Branding, are you still present on the call, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And I can't remember, let me swear you in at this time. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in the cause now and hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right. Lisa, if you would like to ask questions of this witness.
Rusty, do you remember when Eric started painting?
Actually, yes, I was there to build a dog run, and we were changing the colors on the apartments, and Eric started helping me, and he just said that
When Rusty started painting,
he thought that's the least he could do since she waived their deposit for him, and that he would just help me out. It was only some trim. Like I said, at max, it was 8 hours worth of work at the most, you know.
little trim, Judge.
So, and that's all he told me, is that he was doing it to help out because she let him move in without the deposit. So,
Okay. If you don't have anything further of this witness, Miss Lisa, I'll give Mr. Stewart and Miss Stewart an opportunity. Do you have any questions for this witness? Mr. and Mrs. Stewart, I think you might be muted.
yes, so they are.
Okay.
Do you have any questions of this witness, sir?
You have any questions? You said no, I forgot. I was muted. It's unmuted.
Yeah, it's unmuted if you have any questions.
Well, we don't have any questions.
Okay.
Because
If you don't have any questions, then
No.
I'll give you a chance to give your testimony at a later time.
Okay.
If you would like, you don't have to, but you may testify later if you'd like. Lisa, Minnie, do you have any other witnesses you'd like to call?
No, Your Honor.
All right. With the petitioner.
I mean, it wasn't a trick question. Do you have questions for this witness? Yes or no?
Resting their case, Eric and Tanya, do you wish to testify?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
And I believe I had sworn you before you had begun giving your testimony earlier on. If you would please remember you are under oath. But if you'd like to tell your side of the story, Mr. Stewart, please go ahead.
We got to turn the
Yes,
camera
sir.
on.
Well, for one thing, I'd like to mention is the videos that we were waiting on. I put it on a thumb drive and brought it to the courthouse, but the clerks wouldn't let me give it to you because I don't know if there was miscommunication or what, but so the videos never did get sent to you. But
He fired up the VIC 20. He spent hours on this. Oh, good Lord.
But we do have it on a thumb drive that we were wanting to give to you. But anyway,
Are you able just to share them on your screen now?
I can try. I don't know. I'm on my phone. That's the reason why I don't know how to do that.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Do you want to just tell me what your observations were or what you
Yes,
think
sir.
relevant to the case?
Yes, sir. The excuse me, the deposit was never mentioned at all about the painting and stuff, and the way we were informed that we were going to be like a maintenance here for Lisa since I was here all the time, and they wouldn't have to worry about driving back and forth from Wichita. That I would be taking care of that, and my wife would help Lisa in any other way that she was needing. And I don't know, it just got all confused and out of hand, I guess. Your Honor, okay.
I'm sorry, is that Tanya speaking now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Go ahead, ma'am.
I have PTSD very bad. And I have thought on this and thought,
Oh, good Lord.
why and what were they going to do to us if they got through that door?
She's talking about the incident with Kobe that we end up having to call the cops on for him kicking the door, trying to kick in our door.
And
Right.
brought 3 other people.
And then he
Anxiety leads to constipation.
brought 2 other people.
Okay, I was looking forward to seeing this video. They say that these people came and stormed them, and their version is, hey, we just went and asked them for the rent.
And she was just wondering what were they going to do if they would have gotten in if we wouldn't have called the cops.
What were they going to do to us at 10 o'clock at night?
Did you have any other testimony that you'd like to give at this time?
You haven't done nothing wrong.
They testify when they're supposed to ask questions. They ask questions when they're supposed to testify. The judge is just like, I don't know. Do you have anything to say?
We moved into an unfinished apartment. My husband finished. There was a saw and a pile of sawdust. My husband, one side of our apartment doesn't work with electricity. We have a half of an apartment. And that's all. He fixed it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. You have half of an apartment and you're paying for none of an apartment. And that's if we believe your testimony.
Well, and I do think that this trial is probably such that if you don't have any additional testimony, I do want to give each side an opportunity to make a closing statement. Basically, what you believe the evidence has shown, what you think the court should rule, or how you think the court should rule, and the reason you think the court should rule in that manner. And I'll let you start, Miss Minnie.
Well, first they've
Watch out, Clarence Darrow. This is going to be something.
paid no rent except the first month, the $900. We skipped the deposit. They didn't finish the apartment. And there's several boxes of flooring still missing. Tools are still missing. He went into other tenants have called the police on them for or on him for going into the apartment before they were moved out, for getting into parked cars. I just want him to move, Your Honor.
And Mr. and Ms. Stewart, do you have anything you'd like to say by way of a closing statement? What you think the evidence?
In fairness, that wasn't actually bad. It wasn't good. But she has a list of complaints and wants them gone. She stated her complaints and asked and gave an ask. That's better than I expected.
This has shown how you think the court should rule and why.
Well, the flooring, first of all, Lisa Minnie did ask me about that and was asking if Rusty actually took the flooring. I still got flooring in the kitchen that is not complete because I don't have the flooring, which I'm not even going to worry about that now because we are wanting to move, but we are, right now we are packing and stuff, but we have been done wrong. So her saying that the house is complete is totally incorrect.
Totally.
I've told them about the electrical. About half the house don't work, and
dude, you're not paying for anything. We've been done wrong. Pay your rent or get the hell out.
The property manager was going. I even showed him a list and gave him a list, and he said that they were supposed to be sending out an electrician. That was the second month that we were here, and of course that never did happen. And the flooring still is incomplete. And the painting, I quit painting because of the incident that happened with, or is why we're
Kobe.
here. Yeah, I mean, with Kobe and so yeah, it's that's it.
Okay. Well, I
Can
know.
I say something? There was way more than 8 hours of painting,
Okay.
and this building is very high. My husband hung out the window and we had cars stopping watching him. So if Lisa Minnie doesn't appreciate what he did and how dangerous it was,
She doesn't. Now get out.
I don't understand. I've known her for 45 years. And I can't believe that she sent Kobe to not to kick in our door.
Never did that.
It's just a sad deal, Your Honor, for
Kobe throws and I never did that. We all heard it. This is fun.
my wife and Lisa, because they have been friends for 45 years.
That's why.
And that's the bad part of it right there.
And I think you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, I think this is a sad deal from a lot of different perspectives, and I'll do my best to try to come to a just conclusion here. Honestly, the evidence is fairly unique in my experience, and I haven't been sitting on this docket for very long, but I am surprised that there's no agreement, a written agreement that might have provided a little bit of clarity on some of these issues. But I'll do my best to, with the testimony that's been offered and with the pleadings in the case, try to come to my best conclusion. I do think, I don't know if I'm going to feel comfortable making this decision today or if I want a little bit more time, but I would like to at least look at the file and see if I can't resolve this in my own mind today without ruminating.
Oh my God, a writ of eviction done. That's all that needs to happen here. They're not collectible. Don't worry about the back rent. You got to go. Next.
On it longer, but I'm going to go off camera and off mic. And if I can do it today, I will do so. If I think I need a little bit more time, I'll let you know that shortly, but I will be off camera and off mic probably for a few minutes at least. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't sign off because he ain't
Why
done.
not?
To the extent that what Thank you for bearing with me. I believe I am ready.
My God, Chrissy, that looks like I edited it. You got to take it up a notch. When you're sending me free clips.
To render a decision at this time. I think that whomever had been the first to explain that there is an element of sadness in this is spot on, because it seems like there's been a long running, and I guess the testimony was 45 years long friendship between the parties that seems at this snapshot in time at least strained, to say the least. I think it's complicated to the extent that what was seemingly a surfeit of goodwill and desire to probably help the parties respectively resulted in no formal agreement having been come to as far as a written agreement, and the court is having to decipher after the fact how that agreement would have been formed in the minds of the parties and what should be appropriate. From the court's perspective, there's been quite a lot of testimony about what work was expected of Mr. Stewart and what work was actually done and what communications were had and the appropriateness of the methodology, at least of some of those communications. But from the court's perspective, at the end of the day, it seems that there was an agreement that certain work would be done for consideration of the use of this home or apartment. I think that further, that agreement was such that it required the parties to adhere to their original contemplated agreement, and that part of that agreement was that the work done by Mr. Stewart was going to impact the financial aspect of this case. I think that Mr. Stewart had testified that at some point, for reasons that he thought were appropriate, he ceased doing any of that work. And I think at that point, it does augur for an eviction from the premises. I think that the efforts to try to have good relationship at the front end leave the court, though, believing at this snapshot in time that there are no monies owed by the stewards. And what I would like to see happen at this point, if you would please, Miss Minnie, is to prepare the order of eviction. And for you, Mr. and Miss Stewart, that order will be made available to the court with an order of.
Oh, good Lord. I can see this order now in crayon. Since he didn't do no painting, he got to go.
Restitution, and I'll review those. And if they're in line with my orders here today, I'll sign those. And then the sheriff will have a period of time within which to serve that.
This is when you're stuck in court for your own case. This doesn't happen to me now, but it used to in the beginning of my career. And you got pro se's up there doing dopey stuff. And the judge, with a room full of people, just looks at it and says, "Counsel, get up here and draft this order for me," which you have to do. You have to do because they're going to rule on your case in 5 minutes. Oh my God! It gives me the hives.
Order on you, and you should be prepared that that could be happening very quickly indeed. And if you would please, Miss Minnie, prepare that order for the court, I would be in your debt.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will.
All right. If there's nothing further, we're in recess.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. The sequel nobody asked for. The gripping finale.
Mr. Holmes, are you here on the two Heritage
something
Square
else?
Andover LLC cases?
Yes, Your Honor, I am. I'm sorry, we were on another.
Okay, that's it. I had this worked out before we started. The only thing that would have been interesting is if they had video. Once they didn't have video, then it's just get out. They wanted to make the case that they got bum rushed by the property owners, which I doubt happened, honestly, but I don't know. It could have. But I really doubt it. I really doubt it. If you had great video, you'd find a way to make it happen. So there you go. I don't know. We had an all-star call in Judge Washington, and that little update. I will hunt down the link to the initial Minnie Manor debacle. The first part of the hearing was every bit as good as this. And there you have it. There you have it. Eventually, it takes a long time. It takes a long time. But eventually, if you don't pay rent, you got to go. There does come a time, even in our court system, that you got to go. All right. Thank y'all for coming out. I'll see y'all soon.